OK, we're now moving on to motion 3.5, which is Disability Equality Champion for London. Assembly Member Roberts.
Thank you, Chair. 9 months ago, every single group in this Assembly voted unanimously to call on the Mayor to appoint a Disability Equality Champion for London, because we all recognise that 1.2 million disabled Londoners deserve so much better than the status quo. Yet here we are, 9 months later, and the Mayor has not acted to implement this recommendation, dismissing what disabled people's organisations are telling him that they need and suggesting instead that he has already got it covered. The Mayor argues that having a Deputy Mayor for Communities and Social Justice with disability as part of a broader remit is sufficient, but disabled campaign groups like Inclusion London have told him repeatedly that it is not. They tell him that Londoners deserve dedicated, focused leadership with a mandate to drive systemic change at City Hall. Because disabled Londoners are still all too often treated as an afterthought at City Hall, and as a case in point, the new London Plan consultation is one of the most important planning documents for our city's future, yet there is no easily accessible, easy-read version or British Sign Language version which has been prepared to allow deaf Londoners or Londoners with learning disabilities to participate. How is exclusionary behaviour from any public body acceptable, let alone so regularly and as matter of routine? This is precisely why we need genuine systematic change to integrate disability inclusion across City Hall itself, led by someone with a permanent seat at the table and real power to ensure engagement and lived experience is baked into every policy from the start. Because the ongoing exclusion of disabled people from London's planning procedures and infrastructure, whether it's housing, transport or workplaces, isn't an accident. It's the inevitable result of policies being repeatedly signed off without disabled perspectives being included. Appointing a dedicated disability champion is a simple but powerful step that the Mayor could take today. He's had cross-party support. He's heard the repeated calls from campaigners, and thousands of Londoners are petitioning him to act. That's why today we are, once again, asking the Mayor to deliver on this commitment to put disabled Londoners where they belong, at the heart of City Hall decision-making. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Assembly Member Bakari to second.
I am seconding but reserving my right to speak.
Assembly Member Baker.
Thank you, Chair. The Labour Group supports the ambition of the motion for the views and voices of disabled Londoners to be better embedded across the work of the GLA, and we supported the principle of a champion previously when the motion was brought. But we will be abstaining on this motion at this time. We want to recognise the work of the Deputy Mayor, Debbie Weeks-Bernard, and to work to improve engagement with disabled people's organisations, which is ongoing. And we absolutely recognise the need to centre the voices of those with lived experience. But we also recognise that cultural change is complex, as is organisational design, whereas bringing motions is simple. And the detailed solution that is required is not now best achieved through party political motions when we have Assembly consensus on the broad issue. So we will abstain on this and dearly hope for some actual cross-party work to champion the voices of disabled Londoners.
I'm looking for other contributions. Assembly Member Best, and then I'll take Assembly Member Russell.
Thank you. I'd just like to go back to the report myself and Hina wrote, which first called for a disability champion, and thank Inclusion London and others here today that were so vital to that. And also thank you for your work in continuing to push this. I would certainly disagree with the point that this is a party political motion. I think it's something we've all agreed on previously, and dare I say I would like more if the Lib Dems, when you submit this, came to us and one of us seconded it, having it started as a joint project. That would probably look more as a cross-party thing. But in general, the thrust of this, I think, is something the Assembly all is in agreeing with. And I'm reminded a little bit of when we go back to the toilets. And we were so close in this assembly, I feel, to getting somewhere and doing something at that budget. And I feel a little bit like that with the Disability Equality Champion. Having had Labour's support, I felt we were on the way to agreeing something as an assembly that we could really push. And I'm not sure what abstaining here today does, so I would implore on you to vote for. I think it's right that we keep the message up and that we want this and that we want the Mayor to do this. And I just really wanted to speak, though, to thank those campaigners who have sat through everything today to support this. And I don't think we should let them down by losing momentum now. So I really would implore you to vote for it on that side of the chamber. Thank you.
Assembly Member Russell.
Thank you, Chair. So, as everyone knows, Greens are long-time supporters of the idea of a disability equality champion. And there are real benefits to genuine co-production of solutions to the problems that disabled Londoners face. But also, it's really important that they are considered in all plans that the GLA makes. Now, we've got one example currently. The London Plan consultation, live now, has not been planned to be accessible. There is no easy read version of the consultation, and unlike many recent TfL consultations, other accessible forms have also not been provided. So this is an example of why the Disability Equality Champion is needed. So the proposal is a clear way to tackle that gap in how the GLA acts and ensure that there is a champion for disabled Londoners here in City Hall.
Okay, any other contributions? So we're moving back to sum up, or Assembly Member Bakari.
Thank you. I am so proud to be seconding this motion, and thank you again to Inclusion London for all the work that they're doing, and to be here back in the chamber. And 9 months on, as my colleague said, we are back here because things like the London Plan, as Assembly Member Russell just said, you know, this isn't a isolated incident. This is a pattern. Disabled Londoners are being regularly overlooked rather than being included as partners to co-design better policies from the outset. But if we design out barriers from the start and really integrate accessibility into the heart of policy design, we will create a city that works better for everyone, whether you're disabled, an elderly resident, a parent with a pushchair, a traveller with luggage, or anyone recovering from an injury. A more inclusive London starts with a more inclusive City Hall. So I'm incredibly disappointed that our Labour Assembly members will not be backing the motion for systematic change at a time when so many people are struggling and worried about the prospect of brutal cuts to PIP. It's more important than ever that the Mayor does everything in his power to listen, support and work alongside disabled Londoners. Appointing a Disability Equality Champion for London is a simple ask from disabled Londoners, and it will make a world of difference. I do urge all of you to back this motion. I really do hope that, similar to what Assembly Member Best said, her graciousness to understand that this isn't something that is from a Lib Dem perspective, this is everyone's perspective. We all agreed on it. We all know that this is what we need for London. It was something that you supported before. There's no need for us to change our position on this. Let's not disappoint disabled Londoners, Inclusion London again. They're here in the chamber. They're listening to what we're saying. They need our backing.
Yes, please. The question we should all ask ourselves is, in 9 months, what has changed, Chair? Has the lives of disabled Londoners been drastically improved so that we no longer need to... I can see the shaking of the heads from the public gallery. No, it has not. There has been no marked increase in the quality of life for disabled Londoners. There's been no marked increase in their access to social justice. We are still in the same position we were 9 months ago. So why, having voted in favour before, are there members of this Assembly who are now thinking of abstaining on what is something that they supported just 9 months ago? And it would appear that the only reason that was given is that this has come from a different political party. Now, that's very sad. I think that that is an absolute dereliction of the duty which we've done. You're the person who brought party politics into this, Assembly Member Baker. You said it. And you can pull as many faces as you like and wave a finger at me. It doesn't make an iota of difference. You said this was a party matter, and it isn't. It's something we all agreed on. However, if all of the Labour members opposite wish to make it a party matter, then it is in their hands so to do. Because the people watching at home, the people who are going to be noticing this, are going to be the people who will be asking you the next time they see you why you couldn't support it. You supported it 9 months ago. Then a budget amendment about how to pay for it was brought to this chamber, which you voted down, and nobody understood why. And now you're abstaining on this. So I hope there may be some members of the Labour group who will reflect on whether abstention is the right thing to do. I doubt it, but I very much hope that they will. This is the right thing to do. It's time for disabled Londoners' voices to be heard, and it's time for them to have somebody looking after their interests here at City Hall. Thank you.
In favour, Chair.
Those against
There are no votes against, Chair, so that's carried.
and abstentions?
Would you like to record your
Yeah.
group, Chair?
Yeah, okay, good.